Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about the Federal Reserve's decision to drop the Fed funds rate by 50 basis points. We're going to see how this is going to affect the real estate market. This is going to be important to you for just general information about the real estate market, but it's also going to be really important information to help you make real estate decisions. When's the best time to buy? When's the best time to sell? But before we get into that, let's do a couple things. First of all, guys, if you're going to be buying or selling a home within the next year or so, we'd love the opportunity to talk with you. My number is going to pop up here on the screen somewhere. Please give us a call. Number two, if you're somebody who stays updated regarding the real estate market, look around the screen. You'll see the subscribe button. Subscribe to our channel. Now, guys, as we get into this video, as I said earlier, we're going to talk about the Federal Reserve reducing rates over the reducing rates a couple of weeks or last week, 50 basis points. So let's get into talking about that. Hey guys, as we said earlier in this video, we're going to talk about the Fed's reducing rates last week. They dropped the Fed funds rate by about 50 basis points or 4.5%. Now, here's the thing. Does the Fed's funds rate impact mortgage interest rates? So we in the real estate market, that's the question we really have. Now, the short answer is no. The Fed funds rate affects short-term interest rates, but what it does do, it affects the overall economy. Now, the overall economy then affects the cost of long-term bonds. There's so many factors that go into the cost of long-term bonds or the rates that are being paid on long-term bonds that the economy plays a big role in that. But here's one of the things with long-term bonds is that it has a direct effect on mortgage rates. What banks and lenders do, they think, okay, we could take our capital and invest it into long-term bonds, but we could take on a little bit more risk. Now, those long-term, I'm saying long-term bonds, I mean long-term government bonds, 10-year treasury and so forth. And that 10-year treasury becomes their hurdle rate because they can say, hey, we can invest this into a 10-year treasury with zero risk because the government is the definition of low risk because they can print the money and pay the debt back. But, what they'll say is, hey, we can earn a little bit more. Instead of 4%, we can earn 6% by taking on a little bit more risk and lending this money to consumers to buy a home. And so now that long-term bond becomes their index or their hurdle rate that they're going to look at. And they're going to add a spread on top of that to come up with what the interest rate is. And that spread accounts for additional risk that they're taking on, additional profits that they want to earn when lending consumers. So short answer is Fed funds does not necessarily affect mortgage rates, but it does affect the economy. You will see in some cases that the Fed fund moves with the mortgage rates. Sometimes it doesn't. But what it does is it affects the economy. The economy affects long-term bond prices or government bond prices, and that in turn affects the mortgage interest rates. So that's the effect we're going to see on mortgage interest rate right now that this is going to have. Now, the next question is, are we going to see it immediately? Are we going to see it equal, where they drop to 50 basis points and it's going to be equal? Let's talk about immediately. First of all, the market has anticipated and adjusted because the Feds just doesn't surprisingly drop the rates. They announce it and they seek out advisors. They go to banks and so forth, speak to their leadership, speak to economists and so forth before they actually make a decision like this. So they have signaled to the market that they're going to lower rates. Additionally, they produce what's called the Federal Reserve dot plot that projects what they think the Fed funds rate is going to be in the future. So they've signaled to the market that they're going to reduce rate. Consequently, we see rates will start to drop in anticipation of lower Fed funds rate, in anticipation of the economy changing because of lower Fed funds rate and so forth, and rates dropping. So you'll see this kind of thing. So by the time they reduce the rates, the mortgage interest rate, the economy, and so forth has already adjusted. And is it going to be immediate? It actually happens a little bit before, and we'll see it continue once they actually make the decision. I think one of the big surprising things in this market was that they lowered it as much as they actually did. So that's something we've got to see. Now, here's the next question is it going to affect the 2024 market? We're going to throw another slide up here and things, and we'll look at what the 2024 market's doing right now. You can see from the slide, and if you guys have been on this video with me and seen these videos, you've seen this slide many times, you can see there's an annual trend that happens in the market, and that annual trend seems to be stronger than the adjustments to the market. If we look at mortgage interest rates, we see the mortgage interest rates, and we'll pop that slide up right here, right now. Mortgage interest rates have fallen off, and they're following the Fed funds rate. So we see that. But if we go back to looking at real estate has not adjusted. Real estate's still falling off. Real estate's probably going to flatten out, and we're going to see that seasonal trend that we see where toward the end of the year it's going to be lower rates. The market's going to be a little softer towards the end of the year. So the next question is really the adjustment that the Federal Reserve made last week. Is that going to affect the real estate market in 2025? Now, I think that's a big question. That's a much more significant question. So let's have this slide pop up behind me. Well, before we do that, let's do one thing. So this previous slide where we're looking at monthly average prices, if we look at this right now, we can see that annual trend. You see that trend, and I think we're going to see that same trend in 2025. It's something, unless we have something major in the economy happens, it happens year over year. So what we'll see within the months of April, May, June, July, prices are typically higher that second quarter, and they fall off towards the end of the year. Let's take a look and see what the overall market's going to look like in 2025. So the California Association of Realtors have released their forecast for 2025. So let's take a look at that. Now, there's a couple things that they're saying on here. We're seeing about a 10% increase in the price of homes, or not the price of homes, but the number of homes being sold. So that's a big deal. We were down nearly 40% in the number of homes being sold in 2004. Personally, and I'll give you some reasons in just a second, I think we're going to see a much more significant comeback than this. They're saying about 10%. I think we're going to see a lot more homes being sold. And here's the reason, guys, is we're seeing rates falling off. I think people have held off. People really held off in 2022 when they started seeing rates towards the end of the year fall, and they held off on selling and buying new homes. Now, a lot of people, a big part of the market are people who sell and buy another home. It's not just first-time home buyers and so forth. They held off because they're going like, why would I downsize or upsize? Because I got a 3% interest rate. I do that now, and I have to pay 6%. Those people have now been in those homes 2-3 years longer than they normally would have, and they're now itching to sell, make the next moves and next move in life and so forth. And I think people are going to come to the reality that rates are going to be at a certain point for a while right now, that to go ahead and take care of what they have to, and down the road they're going to refinance into better rates and so forth. So also you're going to have a good amount of people. Prices have been down. The prices have been somewhat depressed at the end of 2022. Prices were depressed in 2023, or lower than was the previous year, and it's even been lower in 2024, even though we've seen a little bit of a rebound. And I think people are going to see prices jumping up in 2025, and they're going to jump in the market because they're going to want to sell their home, and they're going to move somewhere else where prices are a little bit cheaper. So I think we're going to see a lot more transactions happening than that this actually says. The other thing here, it says prices up about 4.6%. Again, I think we're going to see more than that. I think, and this is all of California. So maybe if we take a look at average, they're going to be right on. But I think in the Bay Area, we're going to see see prices jumping up a little bit. So with that said, if you're somebody who's thinking about selling and so forth, or holding off on selling, I think jumping into the market next year is going to be a really, really good thing to do. Let's pop one more slide up here. And what this slide is, we're taking a look at quarterly prices. You can see a clear trend. The second quarter of the month or the year is traditionally the highest prices in the market. So if you're somebody who's thinking about selling, we want to get your home on the market probably April, May, June, that time frame, and that's where you're going to maximize the price. Now, guys, again, you can't just put your home in the market. A lot of people think this, and you're going to get whatever for it. In California, you've got to make sure that you're one of the most desirable homes on the market, and you've got to do those things. And there's other videos we've done to really kind of highlight what those things are. And if you're somebody who's looking to buy, even if you're selling a home then buying another, look at the end of the year. You tend to see prices dropping off. Closing prices are the lowest usually in January, and those are homes that went off the market the prior December, the prior year, and things. So guys, that's kind of a little bit of an update regarding the market. Again, Federal Reserve dropped prices. Probably not going to see an immediate impact on it, but what we are going to see is definitely some changes next year and things. Okay, any questions or so, reach out to me, comment below and so forth. Ask me questions below. But most importantly, guys, if you're looking to buy or sell a home within the next year, next 2 years and stuff, let's start talking about that. Let's talk about how, getting yourself ready, getting your home ready, getting yourself financially ready to buy the home. Make sure you've got enough money and so forth. Those things are going to be real important. My number is going to pop up on the screen. Give us a call, man. Love to talk to you. Also, if you're somebody who stays updated regarding the real estate market, again, look around the screen. You're going to see our subscribe button. Subscribe to our channel. Otherwise, have a great week. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys soon now. Bye-bye.